Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources.
Hi, I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors of Brevard, and I have the privilege of sitting in for this episode of Helping Seniors Television for Joe Steckler, our founder and president. And we have the privilege of sitting in here today with one of our Helping Seniors board members who also operates successfully a very important business in our community called Seniors Helping Seniors of Brevard. Welcome, Jennifer Helin, to Helping Seniors TV.
Thank you, Kerry.
Yeah, it's great to have you here today. And we were talking before the cameras were rolling about the kind of service that you do. And people oftentimes say, wait a minute, are you guys Seniors Helping Seniors, or are you guys Helping Seniors of Brevard? And because our names are quite similar,
it's confusing.
People, so the cool thing is you're really both.
I am. I have both hats. It depends on what day, what hat I'm wearing.
Exactly. And so just to make it clear for you, viewer, we are very complimentary, but let me explain that Helping Seniors of Brevard, we're a 501c3 charity. We're a non-for-profit, and what we do is we serve businesses and seniors and people who are connected to seniors who are in the Space Coast area. And what we try to do is connect everybody together so that each senior has the ability to maximize their aging plan. We live in a county that we often talk about 1 out of 4 people is over the age of 65. And if you want to use AARP definition, where they call 50 plus a senior, 1 out of 2 people in our county is in fact a senior. So the very fact that we have that many seniors already in Brevard County, it's like 250,000 and growing. We also are a place that people love to move to. So the senior population continues to increase very rapidly in Brevard County. In fact, we were all talking on the radio just yesterday. I think Joe was telling us that they're saying there could be as many as 700,000 people now in the county. And so if you go that half of them are seniors thing, it's really an impressive number. But what we do as Seniors Helping Seniors is we operate the County Senior Information Helpline. And I'm going to get you to grab a pencil so you can take this number down, because you might need it now or you might need it at some point in the future. But that phone number is 321-473-7770. Again, that's 321-473-7770. One of the reasons that you want to keep that number handy is because typically in a month we'll handle someplace between 120 and 150 calls from seniors, and they'll bring all kinds of questions, everything from housing, transportation, legal, medical, and what we try to do is connect people to services they need. And sometimes that service that people need is a service in your home. And that's where we kind of cross over with Seniors Helping Seniors of Brevard. And let you pick it up from there and tell us what Seniors Helping Seniors is.
So we're a little bit unique. We are in-home care, but we only hire seniors to go out and help seniors. So it's our tagline is it's a way to give and receive. But it's really good for both sides, because the folks that we're helping are getting that help from someone who's a little closer in age, very compassionate. They are people who typically they've retired, they've played around for a couple of years, and they want to do something that they feel really good about, and it's a means to give back. We always say we like to hire people with a volunteer heart but don't mind getting paid. Yeah. So it's a totally different mindset for them coming in. So they're all about their client, helping them in any way, shape, form. So it's a really great fit.
You know, one of the things that we've talked about a lot is the importance of hiring people to help you in your home that are kind of vetted out. And so oftentimes we hear a lot of horror stories about scams and things like that. Somebody found a number, on a shopping, on a supermarket cork board or something, said need help in the home, and then they call that number, and then there becomes a problem because something went amiss or something went astray. And people don't often think about that in terms of thinking about who you might bring into your home, and is that the right person? Is that a safe idea? And more importantly, even if you maybe got the right person, and I'm not saying this generationally, but isn't it good to be dealing with somebody who is close to where you are age-wise, from the standpoint that they have a understanding, that grew up in a similar era where there's a lot of commonality just because of that? And I bet that's probably one of the thoughts that Seniors Helping Seniors had in mind, was matching like-minded people together.
Exactly, exactly. So they speak the same language. They have similar interests in music and television and books. We really do try to match our folks. So what area they were originally from, what they did for a living, what their hobbies and interests are, so that when they're going in, there's already a comfort level to start off with. And we do vet our people. And that is so important. I'm glad you brought that up, because we'll get people that will call and say, oh, well, I'm going to hire someone through the neighborhood or through the church, and they might be wonderful people, but I'm always very cautious, because even my uncle was taken advantage of by a neighbor. And so it's something that's, very near and dear to my heart, is keeping our seniors safe.
Right.
So anyone through an agency, any type of business, we're all subject to licensing through the Agency for Healthcare Administration, and that's our license, and we're all required to do a Federal 2 background check, which some people don't realize. That, I used to be a teacher, we were talking about that. But when I stopped teaching and started Seniors Helping Seniors, I had to go back and do another background check.
Wow.
Because ours is stricter than what
Really?
our county teachers are. Yes.
Wow.
So we do that, but we also do local checks, and we look at financials. We look to see if there's been a series of bankruptcies in the past. It may not be somebody I want to put in your mom's house.
Right.
Our policy's always been, if I wouldn't put them in my mom's house, I'm not going to put them in yours.
That's one of the things that I think is so special about this, because I remember you guys have been operating successfully and growing rapidly, by the way. You started in South Brevard, and now you guys cover the entire county. But you guys have been around with this for quite a while. And as I understand, it wasn't necessarily that you guys just started this out of the box, but you're following on the heels of a very successful organization, Seniors Helping Seniors, that started way before. So they figured out the systems and the things that help you guys be successful and effective in this area, right?
Right. So it is a franchise. We've been here, Mom and I started it together. We'll be 8 this April.
Wow.
Yeah, already. And the franchise itself has been around for 20 years now. It was started up in Reading, Pennsylvania, and the lady that really thought up the Seniors Helping Seniors is a beautiful woman named Kerry Fink, and she's originally from India, and she worked with Mother Teresa for 14 years.
Wow.
So she's an amazing lady with an amazing heart, and that was one of the things when we went up to say, yeah, I think I would like to do this. I'd like a franchise. She said, not everybody will get one. It's not all about the money. We want to make sure that you're taking the heart out into the community. We want to know that our seniors are taken care of, and when you're doing that, the rest will follow. So we've always taken that to heart.
That's one of the things I think that's important that people should know about you in particular, because I didn't really understand it until we were talking the other day, that you have such a background. Your background is education. I mean, that's what you did. And further that, here in the Brevard County Public School System, you were teaching some of the best students, but also probably that required the most skilled to work with special needs students in our county. And that had to be part of when you talk about the lady that put together the whole Seniors Helping Seniors thing, looking for people with a heart for serving and caring for others. That has to really define you because of your whole background in education as well.
I think it really has helped. I know it's an odd thing, maybe to go from my last 6-7 years was in pre-K, so from going from pre-K to seniors, but people skills are people skills, and dealing with families in sensitive situations and behaviors, that part of it I always loved. So it really has transferred well into Seniors Helping Seniors, and that piece now is for me dementia. I'm a certified dementia specialist, and I love going in and helping families kind of understand dementia and work with someone who may have some behavioral differences
Right.
that we can approach without medication or without limiting them.
That's what I was going to say. It seems that you therefore have a lot of experience and knowledge and understanding and a heart and a passion for helping people who need help desperately but may not always be able to phrase it correctly, you know?
Right, you really have to listen.
Yeah. And so with that in mind, what I wanted to ask you was, not only do you hire seniors, but you provide services to seniors. And I was asking the question, for most of us, we don't really have an understanding of when it's time to call somebody in. We might be the adult children of aging parents. Maybe mom just got back from the hospital. There was something that's going on, and now there's going to have to be a little bit more stuff going on at home to help mom because of just the things going on. And what I recall from my own experience was, as you run into those situations the first time, you're really not prepared. They say, okay, we're going to send physical therapy in, we're going to send in this person in, and they're going to make a visit, but you're not sure what to expect, what happens when those services stop because it's reached the end of that, but now the need still goes on and things like that. Tell us how you guys come in contact with a typical family that says, you know, we really probably need some help here.
So for us, half the time it's the senior themselves calling us saying, I think I need a little help. And then I would say the other half is the kids calling and saying, I think mom or dad need a little bit of help. So it just depends on the situation. And for a lot of folks, we are the first time that they've had in-home help because our licensing is home companion. We're the kind of the first rung into home care. So a lot of times we are the first people. And so we're very used to people saying, I don't think I need help. I don't want help. And I understand that completely because that's hard to have help for the very first time to say, okay, I have to stop driving. That's a tough blow.
Right.
Or, you know, my eyesight's not as good. I'm not seeing the spots on the table anymore. To admit that I have to have somebody else come in for someone who's taken care of her home for 80 some years, it's difficult. So we're very sensitive about that. But it's, you know, working with those families and sitting down and finding out what their needs, what their hot buttons are, and then finding out where we fit in. But going back to, you know, how do you know when it's time? If you're thinking about it, it's probably time. And I'd rather have people call ahead of time. I'm very, very much into pre-planning. You know, prior planning, what is it, prevents poor performance. So I'd rather people have that plan and have a relationship. And with us, you know, we can come out, do an assessment, sit down, have the conversation, and they can use us as we say, as needed. It doesn't have to be on a weekly basis. It could be on a monthly or every other month. But having that relationship with someone and knowing, all right, if I need help, I know someone, I know where to go, I know who to call. There's some peace of mind with that.
Yes.
So at least getting that initial relationship, having that plan in place, hopefully you never have to use it, but if you do, you know who to call, you know where to go.
You know, Joe Steckler, who's our founder and president, he often talks about this, he calls them elements of care. And he's always talking to us, and we were talking about this on a radio show just recently, that in our life we're always taught, as you're a child growing up, you know, they say, well, think about what kind of education you need so you can plan for the career that you would like to have. And then as we get to be adults, they say, okay, but now you need to be planning for your kids' future. Are they going to go to college? What are they going to need for that? And you need to plan for your future. What are you going to do about retirement? And then as Joe points out, then we reach retirement, and what is our plan? Because we know that as we go along, we might run into certain situations that could require us to adjust our plan for living. And have we thought about those things? And so he's always careful to talk about what he calls these elements of care. And that's one of the reasons I think why what you guys do as seniors helping seniors is so important, because you establish that first rung of care where now people are used to getting help. They realize there's no shame in that game, because isn't that a problem that we often run into? We don't want to necessarily admit we might need help in a certain area. You know, even as a kid, when they say, well, you might need to wear glasses, you're like, oh no.
I can do that without it.
Right. So I wanted to explain how you encourage somebody to get involved early rather than later.
So one of the things that I've seen over the course of the last 8 years is when people have help earlier, then it helps keep them healthy and at home where they want to be. Where when we've had clients who are really, really resistant to help and didn't get the help, then they ended up having falls, they ended up having difficulties, and ended up progressing much more quickly, and unfortunately ended up in skilled care when, you know, if they had had a little bit of help in the very beginning, I really believe that we could have kept them home. But sometimes that resistance, it makes it worse.
Right.
So really encouraging people to go ahead and have a little bit of help early and get a comfort level with it. And if you don't ever need any more than that, great. You know, that's a good thing.
Joe has always pointed out too, because I've heard when you guys have done TV shows and radio shows in the past, where he's mentioned, like, if I compare the cost of asking you guys to come in and help for a certain amount of time versus the cost of considering, like, well, if I need to go to a nursing facility or go to even an assisted living facility, you guys are able to provide so many services that are of value to helping somebody be able to stay safely at home, and the cost benefit of all that. And we were talking before the show, and I'd like for you to just list out some of the areas that you guys are known for helping seniors with. I know it's everything from transportation to meal planning and cooking and things, but walk us through the kind of services that we should be calling you guys for.
We do lots of transportation to and from doctor's appointments, grocery stores, just out socially, helping keep people stay active and healthy. We do the meal planning. We can run that whole gamut of sitting down and making the grocery list, going through the fridge, making sure of what is needed, not needed, maybe throwing out some expired food. We can be the sous chef, where we'll just chop up the veggies and make, you know, help someone make their favorite recipe, you know, or we can do all of that cooking ourselves. A lot of times when we're cooking, I like to do maybe, you know, a bigger pot of stew or something where we can do some nice homemade leftovers, you know, a homemade TV dinner for the next night or two. We do medication reminders, help with organization. You know, for some folks we work with, they have the early stages of dementia. So managing that whole day to day, it can be a little bit difficult. So we just come in and not take over, but add an extra hand where we're helping with the calendar, helping make sure that their appointments are on the calendar, they know when their doctor's follow-up is, when lab work is requested, things of that nature, getting rid of all of that junk mail that comes in that gets overwhelming. Here's the only thing that you have to deal with. You know, just that one piece of mail, not that whole stack.
That's
so we run the gamut of being in as needed, maybe once a month or every other month, to being with people every day.
And I even asked you about, I said, what about those tasks around the home that you might call like handyman tasks? And you said, no, we can even help, you know, with things that, you said, well, if you need a contractor, that's a different world, but sometimes I just got to repaint a corner of a room, or maybe you have to fix that thing in the middle of the toilet that keeps it running, or something, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah, the flapper breaks. So it's what I call it is kind of one of those honey-do lists, where you have all these little things that need to be done, but there's really nobody there to do it anymore, and maybe the kids are up in New York or Pennsylvania, so they can't be there readily to do it. So we'll have one of our gentlemen come in and you just go right down that list. Smoke detector batteries. The flapper in the toilet's a big one. Replacing the toilet seat. Just all those little things that need to be done around
and all
the
those
house.
things make it safer, because I always have this really scary picture of somebody who's already maybe a little bit challenged with balance, and they're up there on the ladder trying to change that battery on the smoke tube. And you're trying to be safe, but you're putting yourself in an unsafe place trying to be safe. So doesn't it make sense for somebody to give a call and kind of open the dialogue? Because I was thinking about, I was going to ask you about this question too. When you have somebody come in the home, it's not like you're signing a big contract. You have very reasonable minimums. I think you can have somebody available in like 2-hour blocks or something. Tell a little bit about how that works.
So when we come in and we go over all of that at the assessment, to find out what exactly would be helpful. And we, like I said, we'll do as needed services. For some families, we'll work with their loved one when they go on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just do check-in visits when they're gone for that week, and we won't be needed again until they go away. And
Okay.
That's okay. We're being helpful, where we're
Right.
needed. We're not forcing anyone to have 4 hours a day, 3 days a
Sure.
week. We'll do those 2-hour blocks.
And then when the process for somebody to say, okay, I'm hearing all this, I'm not sure what I need yet, but how do they get in touch? How does the process go? Do they call your office?
Yes. So call the office. We'll set up the assessment. We'll come down and we'll sit down and have that conversation. And we're not pushy about it at all. We're not salespeople. If we're a good fit, great. If we're not a good fit, we'll sit down and talk about maybe some options for them. I'm a big person. We talked about that on the radio yesterday. I really think that, they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
Well, it's kind of the same thing, especially with dementia. If you've got someone with dementia, you need a team. That
Oh, my
family
goodness,
caregiver
yes.
we've been through it with my family. We know.
Oh, yes.
You need a team. So I love to pull in outside resources. So as we're sitting doing the assessment, well, have you thought about Meals on Wheels?
Right.
How about Seniors at Lunch program? That's a great way to stay social. We'll bring in other things that we
Right.
think maybe would complement our services for the betterment of that family or that individual.
And that's so important because that goes back to Joe's comments about elements of care, because first of all, once they get comfortable and established with you, then they also is that level of trust. So as they say, well, we might need to introduce a different thing or might need to take another step, then you guys are the perfect people to say, well, this is as far as we go, but here's people that we would trust to help on that level for what you need here.
Right, and I like to be involved with that. As our families, someone needs that hands-on care. Here are a couple of companies that I know, that I trust. We've worked with them before. They're really good. Or if someone does end up in the hospital and in rehab, here's how that process works. Here's the questions to ask, what to do. It's kind of like, when you have, I know with my family, if you have something happen medically, you call the one cousin that's the nurse or the doctor.
Sure.
All right, you get the inside scoop from the family. We try to do that with all of our clients. So we're your inside scoop to that senior world. What can we do to help you through that process? And if it's not, maybe they need hands-on care and we're not, that's not a good fit for us, we're going to recommend somebody who is. And if we don't know, we probably know somebody who does. So we'll get that information to them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. As we were talking about this, two thoughts really come to mind. First is when you were talking about somebody that may say, listen, I am the caregiver. I love mom or dad, and I'm doing the best I can. So I'm doing what I can at home. But we also understand with caregivers, if the caregiver doesn't get a break, then the statistics are not good for caregivers. Sometimes that they may not outlive the person that they're caring for because it is so stressful. And what you said is just by bringing in that help, so you get some relief or a respite break from because as we know, that part of life is 24/7 and it just goes. And that's what I was going to say too. Is your activities limited to daytime or?
Oh no, we do evenings, weekends. We'll do overnights. We've got ladies who have come home from the hospital and they're just a little nervous about staying, the first
by
couple
themselves.
of nights. So we'll spend the night with them just to make sure if they need anything in the middle of the night, we're there, we can help.
Okay.
And as they start feeling better and they're feeling 100%, then we don't need to be there anymore.
And then yes, that's important. And then the second thing that what you were discussing made me think about was by bringing somebody into the home, one of the things we talk about is aging is kind of on-the-job training. So a lot of these situations we run into for the first time, and typically it's not that we're not smart, it's not that we're not intelligent, it's not that we can't figure things out given enough time, but we run into things that are moving at a pace and we have no real background to be able to make good decisions. And it seems like one of the benefits of having seniors helping seniors involved early is because you're starting to build that network. So when things come up, just like you said, if you have that relative who's a nurse and you say, well, this is what they're saying, what do I do next? You have some place to go to that not only is going to be able to say, we've seen this before, this is maybe a thing that we could try.
And I've been in the business 8 years, and before that I was a family caregiver, so I had gone through that process of, oh my gosh, what do we do now with family? And then, over the last 8 years, and I'm still learning. I'm constantly learning. So I can take what I've learned from my clients. I learn from my clients every day. One of my clients yesterday, her son came in and rigged up lighting so that as soon as mom's feet go over the side of the bed, the floor lighting comes on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how cool is that? I said, ooh, you're spoiled. That's great.
That is good.
It's perfect. So she gets up in the middle of the night and goes to the restroom. It's automatically lit and it's timed, so it goes back off when she's done. So that's a great safety thing for her that,
Absolutely.
I'm going to remember that. That's pretty good.
Write that one down. So
better than the night lights.
So before we're out of time, I want to make sure I give you a moment to grab a pencil, because I'm going to ask Jennifer to give you the number to Seniors Helping Seniors. So again, when you need help at home, and you should give a call and find out how you can get good quality help affordably at home. It will make your ability to stay home safer longer a real possibility. What's that phone number that they should call?
It's 321-722-2999.
And so one more time.
321-722-2999.
And you guys also have a great Facebook page. You're always updating. You have great tips. I see it come out. You're always hunting good information for seniors that is just valuable for us to know. What's your Facebook? Seniors Helping Seniors of Brevard?
Seniors Helping Seniors of Brevard County, yes. Take a look at that. It's a very active Facebook page. And of course, we do have our web page as well, seniorshelpingseniors.com/Brevard.
Good. Well, thank you, Jennifer, for, first of all, volunteering all your time and being a part of the board of Helping Seniors. We really appreciate your service on that, and I know it means a lot to seniors throughout Brevard County. And thank you for operating such an excellent and needed service in our area through Seniors Helping Seniors of Brevard.
We love it. Thank you.
And thank you, viewer, for joining us today on Helping Seniors Television. I'm Kerry Fink.
Stackler, thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses, and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.